Yo, when I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello and welcome to another Touchline Gunners podcast. It's your boy Dankoogs on hosting duty today, and what a good day it is, man. Crashed Bayern Munchen 3-1 at the Emirates, taught them a footballing lesson as far as I'm concerned in that second half, and I'm feeling fantastic. Today, we've got a special guest, one of our longtime patrons, Mr. Michael. Been listening, supporting, commenting, sending in questions on an almost weekly basis. You know, he said, you know what, guys, you know, I feel like I know you, man, you know, at this stage, you know, let me come in, let me talk some football with you, man. So you're welcome. Michael, man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Yeah, thank you. I said I've sort of been listening for a while, and yeah, I think it's been sort of great. And I think I just thought let me sort of ask the question: if you don't shoot, you don't score, and yeah, luckily you replied to say So I'm honoured to sort of be on. So yeah, it's great to be on. Yeah, again on the back of a great win as well. So can't complain.
Happy to have you, man. So happy to have you. So, Michael, man, how long have you been an Arsenal fan for? Then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Probably my whole life. So yeah, since I can remember, kind of watching football. So yeah, whole life. So yeah, been going through the ups and downs like everyone else. So yeah, but it looks like
trenches, man.
It looks like we have something special on our hands now. So it looks like we're hopefully back to the glory days moving forward.
Yeah, for real, man, for real. So yeah, touch wood, pause. You know, the season carries on how it started. But yeah, Michael, let's get into it, man. So I think it's best to start kind of the pre-match thoughts. There was talk about, you know, certain players being just about too short for the game against Spurs. We did do a post-match for the patrons on Spurs. So today we are going to mainly focus on the Bayern Munich match. So if you guys do want to hear our thoughts on the 4-1 smash hit result against Spurs, make sure you check out the Patreon. You can sign up from as little as £3 a month. There's lots of content that we release, especially for the patrons there. But yeah, so after that game, you know, Arteta said, you know, Odegaard was kind of close, Gyökeres was kind of close. They've all been training, as far as I'm aware, this week, and he said that Gyökeres and Havertz will have another sort of late fitness test on Friday, but Odegaard would be available for this game. So I was quite eagerly anticipating the starting lineup to see if maybe we'd get a couple bits of rotation, considering we've got another big game on Sunday with Chelsea. So in the end, it was just the two changes from the team that did beat Tottenham. Miles Lewis-Skelly came in at left back, and then Mosquera came in at centre back. So what were your thoughts and feelings after seeing the starting lineup, Michael?
Yeah, I think I was pretty positive. I think on the whole, from what we've seen from Arteta this season so far, I think rotation's kind of mostly taken place in the back line. I think he's kind of slightly reluctant to sort of kind of change the midfield. Obviously, Zubimendi and Rice are kind of the core of our sort of team. I think obviously with us having a sort of forward players out, he hasn't been able to sort of rotate, but obviously now he will be. But yeah, I think on the whole, generally, I think Mount has obviously come in for Calafiori most Champions League games, and obviously he kind of changes either the right back or the centre half. So yeah, I think on the whole positive, and I think obviously same team more or less from the Spurs game. So yeah, I was pretty positive.
Yeah, I'm with you, to be honest, because I thought we did need to go strong. I know there was talk of mass rotation for this game, 5-6 changes, but I never thought that was necessarily the right way to go. If you look at it, the guys that played international, so some of the England guys, I think for once, some of these international managers actually liked and respected the club teams. In terms of, you know, not overplaying these guys. Rice didn't play 290s. You know, he came off in the second game. Saka, I think, was a sub, came on for the last sort of 10-15 minutes in the last game at England. So I was thinking, you know what, if we do have guys available on the bench, this is definitely a game where, regardless of the scoreline, Saka's getting 75 minutes. You know, we do need to get some of these guys back up to speed. So Martinelli's going to play some decent minutes. Madueke's going to play some decent minutes. So I didn't really mind the changes. And fundamentally, I think the guys we brought in, we'll speak about their individual performances as well, but they're levels players as far as I'm concerned, right? So Miles Lewis-Skelly was playing in the Champions League semi-final for us last season, so I have no qualms about him, starting a match of this significance. Mosquera, he, is young, 21 years old, but he's already, this is probably his third season playing men's football. I think he played something like 4,000, 5,000 minutes last year. So, this is a guy who's no slouch. And what we've seen from him this season as well has been exemplary, filling in for Gabriel Saliba, which is no mean feat at all. So I felt no ways about it. And, fundamentally, I thought we can really make a statement here if we go out, perform and beat Bayern Munich, who have been unbeaten all season, and really, really deal them a blow. And I think put a marker down to the rest of the teams in Europe that, we are a team to be taken seriously. We are no slouches ourselves. And, now that leaves us clear at the top of the Champions League group with, relatively decent games to come. 3 games left. I think it's Club Brugge, Inter, and FC Kairat at home. So it looks like top 8 qualification is pretty much in the bag. 15 points out of 15. You'd expect that, we're probably going to win 2 of the last 3 at least. Inter away will be a bit of a difficult game, but I'm not going to lie. I'm backing us to win that game as well, So I think we laid down a serious marker in terms of that performance today. And so, yeah, Michael, let's speak about the performance. Yeah, like what's going through your mind right now, man? Talk to me. I'm letting you monologue here.
Yeah, I think overall, as I said at the start, I think the feeling around the team is sort of different from sort of kind of yesteryears. I think kind of going into every game, the sort of level of confidence I have as a fan is sort of kind of through the roof. There's no sort of team I think, okay, I'm worried about what's going to happen. I know most of the time we're obviously going to perform to the highest level. So yeah, I think overall, I think this win is pretty big. I think, I think a lot of people sort of earmark this game that, Arsenal have sort of kind of won games against other teams, but coming up against Bayern, obviously, who were obviously top of the Champions League group as well, and obviously unbeaten in their own domestic league. I think people were kind of looking at this game that, Arsenal might potentially become unstuck in this game. But I think, once again, we have proved that our team is pretty strong again without a few of our players, Gyökeres, Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, a lot of kind of players, free forwards. He would start probably ahead of Merino if all fit. So I think, again, it just show that our squad is extremely strong. And I think, that was once again proven tonight.
Yeah, facts, man. Big facts, right? So, let's get into some of the individual performances. I'll start at the back, probably. I think David Raya didn't really have too much to do. Thought Timber was, top, as he normally is. I think the 2 centre-backs today, I think, deserve special mention because, I think Harry Kane, he's one of the in-form forwards in Europe at the moment. Sort of him, Haaland, Mbappe going, shot for shot, goal for goal, really in a race for the European Golden Boot. And so, he was doing a lot of chattings pre-match, talking about set pieces, talking about Arsenal taking advantage of, a drop in quality in the Premier League. And so, I was hoping that our guys, were going to kind of teach him a lesson kind of thing today. And I think they did that, really. He, this season has been doing a lot of that, dropping into playmate type stuff, coming off the back of the centre-backs. And I think actually his opposite striker, Merino, was kind of doing the same things. And that was actually causing Bayern some problems because they weren't necessarily following Merino into her spaces. But Saliba, Mosquera, they said, if you're dropping deep, I'm coming with you and you're not going to get your game off, to be honest. And I think they did that to great aplomb. Mosquera, straight in there, age 21. And the pair of them, they basically completely emasculated Harry Kane in this match. Yeah. So what did you think of their performances?
Yeah, I think obviously we know Saliba's level over the last 3 years. So I think, that's just normal. But I think Mosquera, again, I think another test that he's passed with flying colours. I think, again, as we said, obviously we first saw him coming on at Anfield where he did really well. And I think since then, maybe barring the Newcastle game when I thought he was brought off at halftime, which was slightly harsh in my opinion. I think barring that, I think overall most strikers he's come up against, he's been sort of kind of quite dominant. And again, today against Harry Kane, again, he showed that again. So I think, yeah, we probably have a centre half here who's going to be very, very good. And obviously at 21, it's obviously nice to have that. So yeah, I think both of them were pretty good. And I think, obviously, as you said, with Kane sort of dropping deep quite often, I think they dealt with that quite well. And I think, obviously, as well, the midfield obviously helped out with that as well. So, yeah, I don't think I saw Kane take a shot today or
no shots, no chances created, nothing.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, we kind of nullified him completely. And I think most Arsenal fans going to this game thought he would get his customary sort of penalty or goal against us. But, yeah, for once, he's actually come out with a blank. So, yeah, super positive, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And so, yeah, moving on to Miles, right? So, what do you think of the Miles Lewis Skelly usage this season? I would say I'll start there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I was in the camp where I was kind of a bit on thinking, like Arteta's kind of underused him slightly obviously since the start of the season. Obviously, I think for the most part he's come in the League Cup and the Champions League, and obviously he's kind of had sparing minutes in the Premier League. So I was sort of kind of making the case for him, Miles, tonight. But I think my personal view, when Calafiori came on, I just kind of felt the level kind of just went up slightly. I'm not sure if obviously with Miles it's a rhythm thing, lack of game time, why he's slightly rusty. But I think, yeah, as soon as Calafiori came on for that sort of final 20, I just kind of felt the level kind of raised, and Elise literally had sort of go past Calafiori once. So I think, yeah, that was quite eye-opening, to be fair, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting, right? Because Miles definitely had a tough time for me today. Wasn't really confident with his touches. And then defensively, even though you see some of those stats from last season in terms of the tackle completion and all of this, not getting dribbled past, I have never felt like super confident with Miles sort of in the 1v1. And I feel like Bayern kind of targeted him a little bit down that side with some of those long balls, and it reminded me a little bit of what we used to see when Zinchenko played left back, where where you get a long ball over the top. You don't necessarily have the foot speed, I would say, to get there and engage the attacker. I will say the Kimmich passing into that channel was very, very good, to give credit to the opposition. But yeah, Miles seemed to lose flight of the ball a little bit, and he actually, like Zinchenko, is pretty good in the air. So those passes had to be kind of inch perfect, and I think they were. And then I think Elise really got the better of him in their 1v1 battles. I don't think Elise had the greatest of games by any means, but I just think that if there was going to be some joy from Bayern, it was basically going to come down that left-hand side. And, they switched wingers, moved Gnabry to that side, and I think that was kind of when they were able to strike Gnabry quite a direct player first time across, and then Carl gets the finish, which was a little disappointing. So I do think it is tough for a young player to come in basically from the cold at times. So I think in the stadium, fans were, I don't want to say they were onto Lewis Skelly, but they were definitely noticing that he was maybe playing at a level below the rest of the team. And like you said, Calafiori comes on, and I feel we went up a gear again with him. And I think the second half team performance was very, very good. And then I think when Calafiori came on, we kind of just went full belt to arse mode, to be honest. And he obviously gets the assist for Madueke's goal almost immediately after coming on. To be honest, great sort of reverse pass from Eze into him, and then the great ball across and good finish from Madueke. And so, yeah, moving on to the midfield, I'm going to open the floor to you to talk about the man of the match, Declan Rice. Man, really take your time with it. You know, if you wanna reference certain people calling, you know, man an electrician and all of this, then feel free, man. But yeah, take it away.
Yeah, I think with Rice, I think there's so much to say about him. I think his levels just, I think it's. I think this is the highest level he's had sort of at the club at the moment. I think again, performances in big Premier League games, Champions League games. I think he does it all, and I think again, I think the first half it was like kind of like he was kind of saying like, okay, let me just pace myself. But second half, like a switch just kind of turned, and he just kind of went kind of full pelt. Loads of driving runs, passing everywhere, defensive tackles in the final third. So I think overall, Rice as usual. I think his levels kind of great. I think an interesting point as well that I sort of noticed and have noticed since this season, maybe further. I think we were probably at a point where I think last year a lot of us were probably upset and obviously annoyed that Rice was obviously being utilized in that sort of high left 8 pocket area, obviously being asked to receive the ball in the half term. And I think since I don't know whether it's a coaching staff or Arteta who's obviously done it, but I think since that change has happened, I think he's just kind of gone to a new level. I think Rice, I always say Rice is like an old school, early 2000 midfielder, all action. I think you can't kind of pin it down to one sort of area. I think you have to kind of be available in all phases, whether that's defensive or in the final third. So I think since that change has been made, obviously from him being the sort of the high left space to kind of being everywhere, up and down. I think Rice has obviously gone to a new level, and I think there is no obviously debate. I know there's a lot of debate, but I think there is no debate that this is the best midfielder in the Premier League without doubt. And obviously, in terms of the world, I think up for debate. But I think in my personal opinion, I wouldn't sort of swap him for anyone else. In my humble opinion,
Yeah. I think that's spot on, to be honest. And you know, first half, the first sort of 15 minutes or so, I was like, this is a bit cagey. You know, Bayern were very much on top in terms of, you know, dominating possession, but I felt that we kept our shape, stayed pretty comfortable, and then, you know, as the half wore on, we started to press them a bit higher, force them back, get some turnovers, and really up it. And I feel like Declan Rice was a major part in that. You know, it's almost like a gear shifted in him, and he said, you know what, let me take control of this match. Jumping into tackles. I think the second goal that we score even comes from him winning the ball in the midfield off a loose pass. The ball comes out to, I think it was Merino. Merino plays it, or was it Eze?
I think Eze played it to Calafiori.
Ball comes to Eze. Eze plays to Calafiori. Calafiori in, and it's a goal. You know, and that comes from, you know, Rice's activity in the middle of the park. He was making lung busting runs into the final third on the left-hand side of the pitch, on the right-hand side of the pitch, crossing it in, you know, then set pieces, delivering them on a sixpence. I thought Bayern really struggled with Rice's set pieces, to be honest. The first one in the first half, Saliba, I've heard he was offside, but basically a free header. He has to really score that. And then there were a few other free kicks and corners that he took. And he almost leaves with an assist himself with the run that he made into the box and hits it across. And I think Saka almost gets there as well. So, yeah, I thought Rice was absolutely amazing in this match. You know, I think that's another sort of notch on his belt. Kimmich and Pavlovic is a very good centre midfield partnership, one of the best in Europe, and Rice was just jugged with them and slapped them down, gave them serious BTA, man. So, you know, I thought, he was absolutely fantastic. And to give credit to the guy next to him in Zubimendi, I thought he had a very strong game as well. Rice's post-match comments were saying, you know, from the first training session, you could see what my man is on. And honestly, Zubimendi for me has been one of the signings of the season, man. You know my thoughts about the guy exiting that position, And I feel we've just gone from strength to strength without Partey in there. And I think Zubimendi's been a real breath of fresh air. That was a fantastic performance from him. I'll let you speak on Zubi, and then I've got a question for you about the number 10 in Ebre Eze.
I think Zubimendi. I think a lot of people were sort of kind of skeptical when he was coming in. Is he obviously seen him for Sociedad, for example, games against Man United and other games like that? People were kind of unsure what he would bring to the team. But I think it's probably testament to how good he is that nobody's spoken about number 5 kind of this whole season so far. We haven't uttered a word about him or about missing him at all. So I think him being there, I think he just gone up a level for us again. I think on the ball work's really good. Off the ball work as well, very sort of snappy into tackles, interceptions, headers are really good as well. And I think Partey was a big sort of detriment for us last season, kind of dropping deep into the back line, kind of lazy on defensive transitions. So I think, overall he's been really, really great. I think quietly as well, I don't think a lot of people are kind of speaking about it outside of Arsenal about how good he's been, but I think quietly but surely he's kind of gone about his work really, really well. And I think, he's going to be a sort of real asset kind of going forward. And I would say as well, probably Rice and Zubimendi probably, in my opinion, are only sort of points of failure. Probably, I would say. I don't think if either of those two sort of go down for any kind of major period of time, I think we would slightly be in trouble. So touch wood, both of them kind of stay fit.
Pause that, man. Pause that. Pause that. Careful. But yeah, man, I think you are right that it is a worry, I would say, because we don't really have anyone else who can come in and do the job. Like if, for instance, Norgard is playing today, I don't think we have the dominant second half performance that we saw, whether he's playing in place of Zubimendi or Rice. In all honesty, so for me, you see people calling Declan Rice an electrician, this, that, and the other, man. If that is an electrician, bro, he is Nikola Tesla. Yeah, he is the electrician of electricians. Yeah, because this guy is a proper top centre midfielder. Like you said, you wouldn't swap him for anyone, and I feel the energy that he brings to this team, the dominance physically, the carrying, the strength, the power that he has. I don't think you have another centre midfielder that can do this job and play this role that he's playing for Arsenal in world football, to be honest, at the moment. So, fantastic performance from him, and word to Zubimendi as well. So, Michael, the question I have for you on Eze is, now we've seen him for, say, 15 games or so-ish in all comps, maybe 16. I think he comes away with an assist today. Fantastic pass into Martinelli, kind of sucked Neuer in, but with enough backspin, etc., for Martinelli to get on the end of it. Obviously, a hat trick in the last game. Sort of pre-Spurs, pre-international break. What were your thoughts on Eze, and then how do you think post-internationals those thoughts might have been updated?
I would say pre-international break, I think everyone started to hear sort of murmurs. I think it was slightly a slow start from him. Obviously, he had sort of done a few good bits. The assist for Martinelli against City saved us a point, and a couple of other sort of kind of decent performances in Newcastle where he wasn't sort of half bad. So I think, people were obviously wanting more, obviously waiting for him to sort of kind of start to impose himself more. So I think, that was a general feeling, but I was never sort of worried because obviously we know the quality of the player. We've seen him at Crystal Palace for years, so I wasn't worried. I just thought kind of he was taking his time to sort of bed in. Obviously on Sunday against Spurs, the hat trick was obviously great for him. And I think as well today, the assist from Martinelli was good, and I think he probably should have had a goal as well because he had a beautiful touch, nutmeg and up on Meccano, and he should have shot up. I think he tried to pass or try and do both to Saka. So I think he should probably left with a goal and assist today. So I think pre-international break was kind of just taking his time, kind of wanting more. But I think now hopefully he should now kick on. I think with more attacking options now back in, hopefully the likes of kind of Odegaard, Jesus, Havertz, and Gyökeres. Hopefully now he starts to kind of perform a lot better. But I think moving forward, I think I'm confident he's going to be a strong player of the team.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, to be honest, because pre international break, I think, it was looking a little bit difficult for him you couldn't really tell if he was able to kind of grasp exactly what was being required of him. He's definitely not the same type of player as Martin Odegaard. I don't actually think he's got the same level of intensity off the ball or even on it. To be honest, he's kind of in that Ozil mode where he looks to be gliding all the time, right? Like moving lay across the pitch. And in a couple of games, I think the West Ham game at home, Crystal Palace, obviously he scored, but there was a few matches where you're kind of just saying, I need to see a bit more influence from you in this match, right? Don't just kind of stay there between the lines, wait for the ball to come. Can you really, go out there and really stamp your authority on the game? Because we know you have personality, we know you like to try things on the pitch, so go out there and get those touches for yourself, to be honest. And what I feel post internationals is that he's really kind of taking the responsibility now a little bit, is what I'm saying, is what I'm seeing. I think in the Spurs game and today, he very much was kind of demanding the ball, looking to combine with players, looking to really make things happen. Like that move with Merino, as you said, was a fantastic one. You probably should score, to be honest, or at least get it on target, force a save from Neuer. But then, second half, as we went on top, I felt like his influence was really growing in the game, to be honest. And so, Odegaard's back now, so I'm very interested to see what we do. With Eze and Odegaard, we've obviously lost Trossard in this match. I'm hoping that that's not a serious injury. It seems that we get a player back, one has to go down. It's just the way of the world. Really frustrating, because I think Trossard is in some really good form at present. So that's a bit of a blow. But yeah, maybe we see Eze off the left, maybe we see Odegaard central, and we continue to cook that way. But yeah, one to watch for sure.
Just and obviously that point you made about Eze and Odegaard, sort of like an interesting thought. I'm sort of kind of thinking if we ever see it again, maybe we will. Obviously before Odegaard last went down in the West Ham game at home, Arteta played obviously dual eights with Eze and Odegaard with Rice at 6. Obviously Odegaard came off within 30 minutes of obviously the game. So I'm intrigued to see if we'll ever sort of see that again this season. That's I'm kind of sort of interested to see if we'll see that again.
Yeah. The West Ham thing was very interesting, actually, to be honest. We saw it for about 15 minutes, man. Crazy stuff. But there's a couple of games where it might be worth taking a look at that. Next, I think Brentford next week. They're going to do the deep block thing. We might have to roll that one out. To be honest, whether Zubimendi or Rice deserve to be dropped is a tough one to be honest. So yeah, we'll see what the manager does. But I think one thing I like is we've got options. We've got options. We've got some unpredictability as well.
But I would say, I think obviously people are sort of kind of having a lot of talk that, who's going to come in and out. But I think one thing for certain, I think what we need to realize that Odegaard is a captain, so he's going to play. So it's about who else obviously going to play around that. So yeah, any talk of Odegaard, because obviously we're in form, he's going to sort of sit the bench. I don't think that's going to happen. I think once he's back up to speed, he's the captain, so he's going to come straight back in. I think it's about the other pieces obviously around him, how they're going to fit. And obviously Arteta loves Odegaard for many reasons. So yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. So, moving to the front line, I think there's a question now. Seen a tweet from Sam Dean saying that Arsenal's 2 best performances of the season have come with Mikel Merino up top, this, that, and the other. So, where do you stand on the whole striker conversation? I'm not sure I agree with that, because I feel like there's been performances where we've cooked, but we've not necessarily been able to finish. And in these last couple of games, people have finished. So I don't want to do scoreline analysis here, because I feel like we've blamed quite a few teams this season. To be honest, without Merino on the pitch, with Merino on the pitch, not playing striker. So yeah, I don't know if I think that's fair. But where do you stand on this striker sitch?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not the greatest fan of Merino. I'm not a big fan of the player, but again, he's a useful squad asset. He does come in handy here and there. But in terms of obviously us playing better with him up front, I would say it's hard to sort of kind of agree with that. Again, as I said earlier, when all three strikers are fit, he's never going to play up front. He's going to play midfield. So I don't think that's even a question. If Gyökeres, Havertz, and Jesus are all fit, I think those three will all come before him. So yeah, I think it's a non-starter. So I don't think there's even a point of us kind of discussing it, because yeah, once all are back and fit, he will obviously just slot back into sort of coming on midfield. So yeah, I don't sort of agree with that. I would probably say
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Like for me, I think Gyökeres and Havertz are both better strikers than Merino. I don't want to do the whole recency bias thing, because it's like Sunderland, I think we played well in that match, but I don't think Merino was particularly effective in that game. Burnley, second half, my goodness, that was a stinker, to be honest, compared to the first half, where I thought Gyökeres was playing. So I don't want to credit Merino with other players coming into form, because I think Eze has, kind of gotten to grips with the task a bit better. I think Trossard is playing better as well, and I think Saka looks like he's getting closer and closer to the level that we know and expect from him. And so all of that combined together, Rice obviously playing fantastically well, Zubimendi playing fantastically well. These men are just developing relationships, understanding how each other want to play. And so as the team improves, I think the performances will continue to improve. And I don't want to just say that, it's because we played Merino up front. You know what I mean? I think that's a bit too simplistic, personally. So yeah, I think we do need one of Gyökeres or Havertz back soon. Very, very busy period from now until March, really. Game every couple of days. And the Christmas period is no joke, to be honest. I didn't even clock that we've got a midweek game against Brentford in the Prem next week. And so I think that's like the start of the whole December Christmas fixture pile up, to be honest. So yeah, the more players we have back, the better. And you have to say the finishers we brought on today, Madueke, Martinelli, came on, did the business. And if we had them against Sunderland, I think we win that game as well. So this is a squad game now. It is about the squad, and so we've got some squad on our hands, and so we just need these men as available as possible so that they can do the damage, really. So we do have a bunch of listeners' questions, so I'll try and rattle through them before we wrap up. And so Asa Lee, he says, where best to utilize Jesus once he's back?
I think we just have to kind of see how he is physically. I think this is the second sort of serious knee injury he's had, so we're going to have to kind of see how he is kind of physically, if he's still okay. Again, I don't think he's going to get in ahead of Gyökeres or Havertz if all are fit. So I think probably as a rotational forward coming on in games, maybe on the wings as well. But we're quite stacked there as well. I think we just have to kind of wait and see how he is physically. I think that's kind of the first thing we're going to have to see, if he's kind of still up to the level. Then from there, yeah, I think just kind of sort of coming on as a sub to kind of obviously help us change the game. I would say, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for him to get some significant minutes that he needs coming back from a knee injury as well. I think there's a couple guys ahead of him in the pecking order. if we do have another injury crisis, he's a great piece to have. But I am going to take the sort of the smoke and assume there's fire here, where there's talk of us also trying to get him alone in January and that kind of thing to get minutes in his legs, because I don't see how he makes match day squads really. If say Havertz is there, Gyökeres is there, and then you got the likes of Madueke, Martinelli, and all of these men. And so I think this might be his last year at Arsenal. Hopefully he can get a medal. He can get a medal as a send off, to be honest. But yeah, I think the team will probably move past him a little bit. So Stino Swag said, "Can you spend 2 minutes just flogging the economics man that supports Man Red?" And there was another question from Angela Yee One, who says, "So is Rice still an electrician or nah?" So I think the streets want more Rice prop, want dysonomics in the mud for talking smoke on Declan Rice. But for me, well, we've spoken about him. The guy is a top CM man. I think now, if you are not really willing to give him his accolades, give him his recognition, I think it's just agenda, because there's just too many top performances from this guy now at this stage, for club, for country, doing it week in, week out. Doing it week in, week out, and really performing. So yeah, I think the guy's a top midfielder, man. You have to give him his accolades, honestly. To be honest. So D.A. Adigan, this is a good question. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, Michael. He says, "Where do Arsenal rank amongst the best teams in Europe, and who do you think matches up with us best?"
The best teams in Europe currently, I'd probably say on current form we're probably the best, I would say. Maybe that might be, people might say that's biased, but I think I don't see many teams out there that I would say could sort of match us. I would say in the Champions League, kind of moving forward, I would say the kind of two teams I've sort of earmarked that will probably be challengers are probably Bayern and PSG, I would say. Apart from that, I think most other teams, will probably deal with them quite well. Obviously, Bayern would, if we were to play them again with full strength, they'll have Davies back, Musiala, and Luis Diaz. So it might possibly make the game different. And PSG, I think them with their full team, as we saw last season at the Emirates, that was a scary sight. So it'll be kind of intriguing to kind of see how we deal with them. I think we are kind of more well equipped to deal with them again. So that'll be intriguing to kind of see how we deal with them if we were to play them again. But I would say probably those two teams, I would say, are the top two teams. I would say kind of going in Champions League, Bayern, PSG. But I think right now, we are probably sort of the best, I would say.
Yeah, we're definitely up there, man. We're definitely up there. I think Bayern, 100% top 3 team in Europe at the moment. We saw what they've done to Chelsea. Like we said, won all their games in the Champions League, just like us before today. Scored the most goals, I believe, as well. They've been scoring goals for fun all season. And we restricted them to less than 1 XG, to be honest, right? So, I think there was a tweet I saw after the Spurs game, and it was like, of all the games we played this season, so it's like 12 in the league. I think it's been 2 Carabao Cup games, now 5 Champions League games. We have conceded more than 1 XG twice. Once the first day of the season, second time Brighton, where we made 11 changes or 10 changes that day. I think Eze was the only one who survived from the weekend, right? So, I think fair enough there, and we still won that game. So I say all that to say, I think, we're right up there. We're right up there. And I think we haven't really hit our peak yet either. You think about the amount of injuries that we've had to the front line. They've not really had time to really gel, build up those relationships. The back line has been a bit higgy-hagger at times. Saliba missed a couple of games. Gabriel has missed a couple of games now as well. Chopped and changed at the back there. And so, man, I think I think it's the same names. It really is the same names. PSG, Bayern. I don't think Barcelona are quite up there this season. I don't think Inter are quite up there this season, even though they got to the semi-final last year. Madrid seem to be, struggling with having a non-vibes manager. I would back us to beat all of those teams again. And then you do have Chelsea, who are second in the league with 6 points above them. I don't quite think they have the top level quality and consistency some of these other teams. And so, Sunday's going to be a big game. If we win that, I think, there really should not be anyone that can stop us from picking up this title. In all honesty, so yeah, I think right now we're the best team in Europe, and we need to keep showing that game after game.
Just on Sunday, do you think draw would be a bad result if he got a draw on Sunday?
No, I don't. Sorry, I just needed to let my cat out of the room. But no, I don't. I don't think it'd be a bad result. To be honest, like I said, well, not like I said. I don't think the league can be won in November. Go there away to Stamford Bridge. Fundamentally, you'd have played Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Newcastle away, United away. You've gone away to Sunderland as well. We've had City at home. So really and truly, of the places we need to go in the rest of the season, we need to go to Spurs. We need to go to the Etihad. And then there's a few places like, Villa, this and the other, which we're going to get away in the next month as well. So, I think we can go into the second half really, really confident that we can pull together another, sort of big run. And so, yeah, I don't think Sunday's a must win at all. But I feel like if we do win, then you're talking about significant daylight between us and the rest of the chasing pack, at least 7 points clear with kind of a third of the season gone is a superb position to be in. And that's exactly where you want to be, in the driving seat. So yeah, I hear it. So Sully 45, he says thoughts on MLS role this season being limited due to the midfield changing from a lone six to a pivot. Seems like he can't pick up those central areas like last season. Cala much much more comfortable roaming up and down the wing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we touched on that. Yeah, I think kind of obviously the performance tonight, and I think obviously California coming on, and obviously the level going up. I think he probably just has to sort of bide his time. Again, I think as we spoke about a lot with Arteta, I think there is a reluctance to play him in midfield. We haven't seen it. I don't think. Maybe once or twice in a League Cup game, but yeah, I think there is a reluctance to play him in midfield. So I think for now, maybe in the future he will play him in the midfield, but I think for now, yeah, he's got to bide his time and obviously just wait and obviously for his game time. But I think as well, in my opinion as well, I think if we're being honest, he's probably third choice. I think if California was to go, then I think Arteta would probably play Nkapie at left back before him, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see how things develop. But I think a caveat as well, we have to remember that obviously Miles is only 18, 19, so he still has a whole career. He still has a whole career ahead of him. But I think as I said, I think in my opinion he is probably third choice. If California was to go, then I think Arteta would probably be more inclined to play Nkapie at left back than MLS. Yeah.
Yeah, fair play, man. Fair play. So, yeah, it's interesting. The team develops, and I think it's up to the players to try and develop with the team as well. So, Miles, I've seen some comments where he says, he's playing for a club like Arsenal. He's starting in the Champions League. So he needs to come and rise it and show that this is where he belongs. To be honest, I don't think you need to get too hung up on games like today. But now it's about reaction. How are you going to play in the next game? How are you going to react to maybe a disappointing performance? He seems to have the right mentality on his shoulders, willing to fight for his place. I do agree with you that I think his future does lie in midfield, and it's down to the manager to kind of trust him there. I do think that's why we've gone for someone like a Norgard rather than an Agume or something like that, because they are trying to maybe develop Miles into being a centre midfielder. So yeah, we'll see. One to watch with him, to be honest. So Concluso, he says, assuming Gyökeres, Havertz, and Jesus are all fit come December, how do we see the number 9 position playing out? Havertz given a nod because he's Arteta's golden boy. Gyök back in after improving. Keep Merino as we look good defensively with him playing. Jesus last dance. I think we've discussed that one already. So JK Muku, it's an interesting question. He says, do we have any flaws from last season we haven't improved on? What are our flaws today? Very good question.
Flaws. That's a pretty good question. Do we have any flaws at the moment? I think obviously, the discussion in kind of pre-international break and obviously a bit further was obviously the open play creation stuff. But I think we've kind of, I wouldn't say addressed it or sorted it out, but obviously I think over the last couple of games we have been more kind of creative, and obviously we scored quite a few open play goals. So I think, that was probably a major issue everyone was kind of talking about. But I think once we have all our attacking players back, I think open play chance creation is going to be kind of fine. So apart from that, I don't see many sort of other flaws in this team, in my opinion. I don't see many flaws.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I think, the team is we got so many tools, we got so many options, we got so many different ways of playing. We saw it in this match as well. Bayern, they had the ball first few minutes. We played in a deep block. Then we decided, no, we're going to, press you, man, keep you camped in the second half. We're able to do both sides of the game very well. So the team is seemingly now looking very complete. Different ways of playing fullback, different ways of playing centre mid, different centre back options, different striker options, different wing options. So it looks like we've got a very, very complete team, man. So I just need them to, make it count in May. It's been a lot of highs so far in some of these seasons, and coming at the end of the season, it's never quite, materialized for us. But just hoping the dice can fall in our favor this time, and things really land.
A flaw, I wouldn't say it's an on the pitch flaw, but off the pitch is keeping players fit. So hopefully we get everyone back and we have a period where everyone is actually fit for a sustained period of time. So I would say it's not an on the pitch flaw, but I would say off the pitch, it looks like we're struggling to kind of keep everyone in the squad fit. So hopefully going forward that does happen, please.
Bro, big man thing, man. Like, losing players to injury is crazy right now. It's actually crazy. I don't know what has happened to Trossard today. Hoping that's a minor thing, because, like I said, I want the options. I want the options. To be honest, maybe it's making life easier for Arteta. Not having to make hard choices about rotation, because guys are just dropping for him and forcing him into it. But need Trossard back. He's playing really well. Most goal contributions for us this season in all competitions. So valuable contributor so far. Need him back ASAP. Final question here from Y736599. My man's tweeting off a burner there. Oh no, there's two questions here. So one is, how many points would we need to still be ahead by at the end of January for guys to think the Prem is coming to N5? Is there a number?
I'll be honest with you, I don't need a number. I know this team's gonna do it.
Let's go.
I'm that confident that this team is so good. I don't sort of need a number. I kind of always think, if we're going to be realistic, how many times do you think we're going to lose between now and the end? Who's going to beat us realistically? Obviously, we probably will lose maybe one or two, but I don't see us losing over 2 games between now and the end of the season, because I think most teams were going to dominate. I think most games are either going to win or draw. So I'm not looking at really points. Obviously, it's great, obviously, to have a good lead, but for me, points is not really that significant. I think this team is really good, and I think as I said, between now and the end of the season, I don't see many teams beating us. I think maximum. I could be wrong, obviously, but in my head, I think maximum we have probably 2 more losses, in my opinion. At a push, 2. It could be 1. Personally,
Yeah, man. I think I'm with you, man. I've got a good feeling right now. I've got a good feeling. Maybe Sunday 6:30 p.m. my feeling's gone, but I feel like this team is ready to deliver. And I think they're ready to show it, and you can kind of see it on the pitch how much they want it. I love the celebrations from Noni, man. That's a bit of me. That's not a guy that I was really for the signing, this and another. But when he's playing in the red and white, I've got to support him, and the passion. It really gets me on side, man. That this guy full force in all the celebrations, right? So, I love that for him. Scored his first Champions League goal for Arsenal, and I think first Champions League goal ever, maybe. I'm not sure. He scored one for PSV. I don't think he's played in the Champions League before this season. So that's real good stuff for Noni. And I'm gonna need a re-up on Sunday, my guy. I'm gonna need a re-up against the old club as well. So I want to see the I'm not celebrating against you, man. Thing, load that. I'm ready.
I think for Nani as well, I think just to add as well, I think the environment he's coming into at Arsenal, I think kind of the focus, I think it's probably going to help him kind of focus, kind of hopefully to kind of get him to be a better player. I think obviously at Chelsea he was having a bit of fun, changing room sort of banter. I think here at Arsenal, I think we rarely ever see anything happen in the change room in terms of sort of pictures or anything like that. So I think hopefully he comes into this environment, winning culture, focus, and I think hopefully the other players around him will obviously get him focused. So I think hopefully fingers crossed. Obviously a lot of us weren't sort of for the signing, but hopefully he can be a useful asset. I think as well. I think the key thing for me with him is just kind of giving Saka a rest from time to time. I think so I think hopefully he'll be a useful asset. So do you think we lose more than 2 games before now and the end in the Premier League?
Maybe we do. I don't know, to be honest. It depends on injuries. I feel like if we play 2 or 7 out of 10 most weeks, no. I think even in the games where we drop points, I don't think there's much in it. We never really get hammered. Some people say, Sunderland scored 2 goals, but it's the only 2 shots on target, man. And one of them's coming in 93rd minute or whatever it was, and I think it's if Raya stays in his goal, that's a nothing shot, so it's an interesting one because I feel like we are so dominant and so controlling, and our defenders are just so good as well that we are 100% the hardest team to beat in the league. We're definitely going to drop points again. But I feel at this present moment, the people we're competing against are going to drop more. I don't see Chelsea going on a 10-game run during this period, winning 5 games in a row during this period, because I don't think they got the quality. I don't think they got the strength and depth, especially at the back, to do that. All the safety at the back to do that. Man City, Liverpool, again today, that result from Liverpool is flabbergasting. I couldn't believe it when I checked my phone as I'm coming out the ground, and I get my phone signal back. I could not believe it because PSV are not even good, So yeah, if those are our competitors, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. But it's the season's long. We're only 12 games in. We'll be a third of the way through after we play Chelsea, 13 games. So yeah, we'll see what this team has in store for us, man. But yeah, let's do it, man. let's do it. Final question from Jorabchian FC. Says, if we win on Sunday, does it confirm we are the best team in the world? I think we discussed that a little bit. Chelsea ain't no barometer for us to be the best team, man. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah, I'll tell you that for free right now. But you know, Sunday, huge game. Who do you think starts left wing against Chelsea now?
Based on what I saw on TV with Trossard, it doesn't look anything serious. Looks like it's probably a precaution. So if he is available, I would probably say obviously on form he's going to start. If he isn't available, a part of me thinks he would probably go with Martinelli. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many options. He could go with Madueke, he could go with Martinelli, he could go Eze, bring back Odegaard into midfield. So yeah, but I think if Trossard fit, he starts. But I think if he's not, I'd probably say he probably goes for someone he knows and trusts in Martinelli to start. I would say yeah, probably.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I might play Madueke there, man. I feel like he scored today. Martinelli scored as well. He scored today. I have this feeling about players playing against their old teams, man. They normally just rise it. I think Madueke's got something for us, man. But yeah, Michael, it's been a pleasure having you on. I've enjoyed that chat. I've enjoyed today. You know, I've enjoyed that match. I'm enjoying the team. I'm enjoying the squad. I'm enjoying the season. So don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you back on as well. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you with a post-match after we grab the 3 points at Stamford Bridge, second home and all of that stuff. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys soon, man. Peace.
Yo, when I spit bars in the rain, man, I go hard like Santan.